When we talk about human connections, attraction, and understanding each other, one thing is clear: men and women often see the world differently. Many women wonder what men actually notice, what stands out to them beyond looks or appearances. The truth is, men observe and remember little things that women often overlook about themselves. These details may seem insignificant, but to men, they reveal personality, authenticity, and charm in ways that words sometimes cannot express. Confidence is one of the most powerful qualities a person can possess, and when it comes to what men notice about women, it often outweighs physical appearance. Many women assume that beauty, makeup, or clothing are the first things men focus on. While looks may initially catch the eye, what holds lasting attention is the way a woman carries herself. Confidence is like an invisible aura. It cannot be faked for long, and it reveals itself in posture, presence, and energy. Think about a woman who walks into a room. She may not be the most glamorous, she may not be wearing the trendiest outfit, but if she enters with her head held high, shoulders back, and an air of calm assurance, she immediately commands respect. Confidence makes people pause and notice. Men, in particular, are naturally drawn to this quality because it signals strength, independence, and self-awareness. It shows that she doesn't need external validation to know her worth. Confidence is not about arrogance or superiority. Instead, it is about being comfortable in your own skin. It's the quiet strength that says, "I know who I am, and I don't need to pretend to be someone else." Men can quickly sense the difference between someone trying too hard to impress and someone who is naturally at ease with themselves. A confident woman doesn't have to compete or compare. Her energy speaks louder than anything else. One of the subtle ways confidence reveals itself is through eye contact. When a woman looks someone in the eye while speaking, it shows presence and authenticity. It tells men that she is engaged, secure, and unafraid of being seen. On the other hand, avoiding eye contact or shrinking into the background often gives the impression of insecurity. Men may not always analyze this consciously, but they feel the difference. Another sign of confidence is body language. Simple things like standing tall, walking with purpose, and not fidgeting convey assurance. A confident woman doesn't need to constantly adjust her appearance because she trusts that she is enough as she is. Men notice this unspoken language more than women realize. A smile held with ease, a relaxed posture, or a steady tone of voice leaves a stronger impression than a perfectly applied layer of makeup ever could. Confidence also shines through in conversations. Men admire women who speak their minds with clarity, share their opinions without fear, and listen with genuine interest. It's not about being loud or dominating. It's about being sure of one's thoughts and expressing them with grace. When a woman communicates with confidence, it tells men that she values herself and her voice, which in turn makes them value her more. What's even more interesting is that confidence amplifies beauty. A woman who believes in herself radiates an inner glow that makeup cannot create. Men notice the spark in her eyes, the assurance in her movements, and the authenticity in her smile. Even if she doesn't fit the so-called standards of beauty, her confidence makes her magnetic. In fact, many men find confident women more attractive because their energy creates a sense of stability and positivity. Confidence also connects with independence. Men respect women who have their own passions, goals, and identity beyond external approval. When a woman pursues her dreams, stands firm in her values, and shows resilience in the face of challenges, it leaves a deep impression. Men notice the strength in her actions, and that strength makes her unforgettable. In truth, beauty fades, trends change, and appearances shift with time. But confidence, when built from self-respect and inner belief, remains steady. It is the quality that makes people remember you long after they've forgotten what you were wearing or how you looked. Men may not always articulate it, but they instinctively notice and admire confidence above all else. So, while many women spend hours worrying about their appearance, what they don't realize is that the thing men notice the most is how confidently they carry themselves. True attraction doesn't come from perfection. It comes from authenticity, self-respect, and the courage to simply be yourself. Confidence is the silent magnet that draws others in, and it is the one quality that always speaks louder than appearance. When people think about attraction, they often limit it to surface-level qualities such as appearance, fashion, or physical features. But what truly sets someone apart in the long run is character, and one of the most powerful traits that men notice in women is kindness. The way a woman treats others speaks volumes about who she is, far more than any words she could say about herself. Men may not always openly mention it, but they pay close attention to how a woman interacts with the world around her. Kindness is one of those qualities that cannot be forced or faked. It reveals itself in the small everyday moments, how she treats a waiter, speaks to a cashier, or shows patience with a child. These simple interactions provide a window into her true nature. Men quickly notice whether a woman has genuine warmth or whether her politeness is just a mask. Authentic kindness leaves a lasting impression because it reflects a deep sense of empathy, respect, and humanity. It's easy to be kind when life is going smoothly, but the true test of character is how one treats others when things don't go as planned. Men notice this. If a woman remains calm, respectful, and understanding even in frustrating situations, it shows emotional maturity. On the other hand, if she reacts with unnecessary rudeness or arrogance, it can be a red flag. A woman's ability to show kindness in both easy and difficult moments demonstrates grace and strength, two qualities men value deeply. Another aspect of kindness that men notice is how women speak about people who are not present. Gossip, negativity, or constant criticism can give off an energy that pushes people away. In contrast, when a woman speaks with fairness, encouragement, or compassion about others, men see it as a reflection of her inner values. Words are powerful, and men quickly recognize the difference between someone who builds others up and someone who tears others down. Kindness is also connected to generosity of spirit. It doesn't always mean giving money or gifts. Sometimes it's about giving time, attention, or support. Men appreciate women who can listen with genuine interest, who show care without expecting anything in return, and who are willing to share positivity with those around them. Even the smallest gestures, like remembering someone's name or offering encouragement, make a woman stand out in ways she may not realize. Men also notice how kindness extends beyond humans to the world at large. The way a woman treats animals, respects nature, or approaches the less fortunate speaks volumes about her values. These qualities suggest that her compassion is not selective. It flows naturally from within her. A woman who shows respect to all forms of life radiates a kind of warmth that men find unforgettable. It's important to remember that kindness does not mean weakness. Some women fear that being kind may make them appear submissive or vulnerable, but in reality, kindness rooted in strength is one of the most attractive qualities. Men admire women who can be both gentle and firm, compassionate yet principled. This balance shows wisdom, and it assures men that her kindness is a choice, not a lack of boundaries. Ultimately, kindness shapes the kind of energy a woman carries with her. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel valued, respected, and seen. Men, in particular, pay attention to this because it signals the kind of partner she might be, not just in romantic terms, but in life as a whole. Will she be a source of peace or constant conflict? Will she uplift or tear down? Her treatment of others answers those questions more clearly than anything else. Attraction might start with appearance, but it endures with character. A beautiful face might catch a man's eye, but kindness captures his heart. When a woman treats others with respect, patience, and compassion, she creates an impression that lingers far beyond first meetings. Many women underestimate how deeply men notice these subtle acts, but in truth, kindness is one of the most powerful qualities that define lasting admiration. There is something universally magnetic about laughter. It doesn't matter what someone looks like, what they wear, or how perfect their features are. When a person laughs with genuine joy, it creates a spark that no material possession can replicate. Men, in particular, notice this in women more than they openly admit. A woman's laughter is not only a sound, it's an expression of her soul, a reflection of her authenticity, and often, it's what makes her unforgettable. Genuine laughter is different from polite chuckles or forced smiles. It has a warmth and spontaneity that instantly changes the atmosphere of any room. When a woman laughs freely and wholeheartedly, she shows that she is present in the moment, comfortable with herself, and open to joy. This is deeply attractive to men because it reveals emotional openness, positivity, and an ability to find lightness in life. Many women underestimate the power of their laughter. They may focus on their appearance or achievements, not realizing that joy is one of the most attractive qualities. Men notice if a woman laughs easily, if she can find humor in everyday situations, and if she shares that joy with others. It suggests resilience. that she doesn't allow life's challenges to weigh her down so heavily that she forgets to smile. In a world where negativity often dominates, joy becomes a rare and precious gift. Another reason men notice laughter so deeply is because it creates connection. Shared laughter builds bonds faster than almost anything else. When a woman laughs with someone, it breaks down barriers, removes tension, and builds trust. It tells men that she can enjoy the moment, that she doesn't take everything too seriously, and that she can create a safe, happy space. These qualities are invaluable in relationships because they turn ordinary moments into cherished memories. Authenticity is another key factor. Men quickly sense whether someone is pretending to laugh to fit in or whether the joy is genuine. Forced laughter often feels hollow, but real laughter shines through eyes, voice, and energy. Men are drawn to that kind of authenticity because it reflects honesty, not just in humor but in life overall. A woman who can laugh freely is usually someone who lives freely, unafraid to be herself. Men also notice how a woman reacts when things don't go perfectly. Can she laugh at herself when she makes a mistake? Can she find humor in awkward situations rather than becoming overly defensive or embarrassed? This ability to embrace imperfections with light-heartedness is incredibly attractive because it shows humility, self-acceptance, and confidence. It proves she doesn't need to be flawless to be joyful. Furthermore, laughter is contagious. When a woman laughs genuinely, it naturally lifts the mood of those around her. Men are especially sensitive to this because it makes them feel good just by being in her presence. Her joy becomes an energy that spreads, and it leaves a lasting memory. People often forget words, but they rarely forget how someone made them feel. A woman who makes a man feel lighter through her laughter is someone he will remember long after she leaves the room. On a deeper level, men associate joy with emotional health. A woman who can laugh often is seen as someone who values happiness, who doesn't dwell endlessly on negativity, and who knows how to appreciate the little things in life. This creates a sense of balance and peace, which men naturally notice and admire. In the end, genuine laughter is far more than just sound. It's a reflection of character, resilience, and spirit. While beauty may catch the eye, it is joy that captures the heart. Men remember the sparkle of laughter more vividly than the details of an outfit or hairstyle. Many women don't realize that what men often find most irresistible is not perfection, but the authenticity of a smile and the freedom of a laugh. So, when a woman laughs with sincerity, she's not just expressing happiness, she's showing confidence, warmth, and the kind of presence that makes her unforgettable. For men, genuine laughter isn't just noticed, it's cherished. When people think about attraction, they often focus on the big and obvious things, appearance, style, or personality traits. But in reality, what often lingers in someone's memory are the small, subtle details that make a person unique. For women, many of these details are their little quirks, the habits, gestures, and expressions they may not even realize they have. What's fascinating is that men notice these quirks more than women think, and in many cases, these small traits become the most endearing and unforgettable things about them. Quirks are the natural behaviors that aren't forced or rehearsed. They are the small things women do unconsciously, tucking their hair behind their ear when they're nervous, biting their lip when they're deep in thought, or the way their eyes light up when they talk about something they're passionate about. These details might seem ordinary to the woman herself, but to men, they are signals of authenticity. They reveal a side of her that is real, unfiltered, and uniquely hers. Men often find these quirks more memorable than traditional markers of beauty. For example, while makeup or clothing can enhance appearance, it's the spontaneous laugh, the playful expressions, or the tiny habits that truly stick in a man's mind. These quirks create a sense of intimacy because they give men a glimpse into who the woman really is beyond the polished exterior. They are not things she's trying to perfect. They are parts of her natural essence, and that's exactly what makes them so special. Another reason men notice quirks is because they make a woman stand out from the crowd. In a world where many people chase the same beauty standards and trends, quirks set someone apart. Maybe it's the way she talks with her hands, the way she crinkles her nose when she smiles, or the little phrases she always says. These small details form a personal signature, something men come to associate with her alone. And once noticed, they often become the details he remembers most vividly. Quirks also create a sense of comfort and relatability. Men often find themselves drawn to a woman's natural imperfections because they feel real. For instance, if a woman stumbles over her words but laughs about it, or if she gets excited and speaks too quickly, it doesn't come across as a flaw. It comes across as charming. These quirks reveal vulnerability, and vulnerability builds connection. They remind men that she doesn't need to be perfect to be lovable. There's also something about quirks that triggers emotional attachment. When men notice these small details, they often associate them with moments of closeness. Over time, these quirks become the very things he misses when she's not around. He might remember the way she hummed to herself while doing something, or how she always tapped her foot when she was impatient. These little things become part of the bond, often holding more sentimental weight than anything grand or glamorous. It's important to realize that quirks are not things to be hidden or fixed. Many women worry about their small habits, thinking they might appear awkward or unattractive. But what they don't realize is that these exact behaviors are often what men find most captivating. Authenticity is always more appealing than artificial perfection, and quirks are the purest form of authenticity. Ultimately, men notice and cherish these quirks because they tell a story. They reveal personality, mood, and character in ways words cannot. They make a woman not just another face in the crowd, but a unique individual with her own rhythm, energy, and charm. So, while women may stress over big things like appearance or style, they often overlook the fact that their quirks, the little unconscious habits that make them different, are the very things men carry in their memory and heart. In truth, it's not perfection that men notice most, it's those small, genuine quirks that make a woman beautifully unforgettable. Style is often mistaken as something superficial, a matter of fashion brands, makeup, or the latest trends. But in reality, style is far deeper than clothing. It's an unspoken language of self-expression. Men notice a woman's style, but not in the way women often assume. While many believe men are concerned with designer labels, expensive outfits, or perfectly coordinated looks, the truth is quite different. What men truly notice is whether a woman's style reflects her personality and makes her feel comfortable and authentic. Personal style is powerful because it communicates without words. A woman doesn't need to say who she is. Her choices in how she dresses, the colors she loves, and the way she carries herself tell that story naturally. Men notice when a woman dresses in a way that feels genuine to her rather than simply following trends. For example, a woman who prefers simple, classic clothing but wears it with confidence often makes a stronger impression than someone who tries too hard to keep up with fleeting fashions. What men appreciate is not the cost of the outfit, but the effort to express individuality. If her style shows creativity, comfort, and alignment with who she truly is, it becomes magnetic. A woman who loves wearing bright colors and bold patterns shows she's playful and confident. A woman who chooses soft, natural tones might reflect calmness and elegance. Men notice this connection between personality and presentation, and it helps them understand her without a word being spoken. Another aspect men notice about style is the attention to detail. It could be the way she adds a simple accessory that completes her look, the neatness in how she carries herself, or even the choice of shoes that reflect her mood. These little touches tell men that she values herself enough to present herself thoughtfully. It doesn't mean being flashy or overdone. It means choosing a style that feels intentional rather than careless. Interestingly, men also notice when a woman is comfortable in her style. If she constantly adjusts her outfit or seems uneasy in what she's wearing, it signals insecurity. But when she wears something that clearly makes her feel at ease, her confidence shines through. This is why personal style matters more than following fashion rules. It's about comfort meeting expression. A woman who feels good in what she wears naturally radiates that energy, and men are instinctively drawn to it. Style is also tied to self-respect. Men often interpret a woman's presentation as a reflection of how she values herself. This doesn't mean she has to wear expensive clothes or elaborate makeup. Even simple, clean, and well-kept clothing can speak volumes about her sense of self-care. Men admire women who take pride in their appearance not to impress others, but because it shows they respect themselves. Another subtle truth is that style creates memory. Men often recall not the exact outfit, but the feeling it gave them. Maybe he remembers how graceful she looked in a flowing dress, or how confident she seemed in a sharp, casual outfit. The clothing itself might fade from memory, but the impression it left lingers. That impression usually comes not from fashion labels, but from how seamlessly her style matched her spirit. It's also worth noting that personal style extends beyond clothing. It includes the way she wears her hair, her choice of accessories, her scent, and even her posture. These elements together create an image that represents who she is. Men notice when all of these aspects align in a way that feels genuine rather than forced. Ultimately, men value personal style because it is a mirror of self-expression. It's not about perfection, but about authenticity. A woman doesn't have to look like a model to be noticed. She only has to look like herself, expressed confidently and comfortably. Men may admire a striking outfit, but what stays with them is the honesty in how she wears it. So, while many women worry about following trends or comparing themselves to others, the truth is that men notice and admire women whose style reflects who they really are. In the end, personal style is not about impressing others, it's about expressing yourself, and that authenticity is what men find most unforgettable. Sometimes, what people remember about someone isn't their words, clothes, or even looks, it's the energy they carried. Energy is invisible, yet it speaks louder than appearances. For women, their energy and presence often leave a stronger impression on men than they realize. While many assume men only notice physical traits, the truth is that men are deeply aware of how a woman makes them feel when she's around. Her aura, her vibe, and her presence become unforgettable. Energy is more than just personality. It's the combination of emotions, attitudes, and inner confidence that radiates outward. A woman who enters a room with warmth, positivity, and calmness can shift the atmosphere without saying a word. Men notice when her presence feels uplifting, when she brings lightness instead of tension, and when her energy makes the environment more enjoyable. Even in silence, energy communicates volumes. One reason men are so tuned into energy is because it affects how they feel about themselves. If a woman's presence makes him feel at ease, respected, and valued, that experience stays with him. On the other hand, if her presence carries negativity, constant stress, or arrogance, he will associate those feelings with her even if she looks stunning. This is why energy has such a lasting impact. It determines the emotional imprint she leaves behind. Men especially notice a woman's energy during quiet moments. In conversation, it's not just about what she says, but how she says it. Does she listen with genuine interest? Does her tone reflect patience and openness? Does she bring calmness or agitation to the interaction? These subtle cues often matter more than physical appearance because they shape how a man feels in her company. Presence is another part of this equation. True presence means being fully engaged in the moment. Men notice when a woman is genuinely there, making eye contact, showing interest, and being attentive, rather than distracted or disconnected. This kind of presence makes men feel seen and understood, which is rare and deeply valued. Energy also reveals itself in confidence. A woman who is comfortable in her own skin exudes a magnetic presence, whether she is speaking, laughing, or simply sitting quietly. Men notice this ease because it creates harmony. On the other hand, when someone carries insecurity or constantly seeks validation, it can drain the energy in the room. Men are highly sensitive to this difference, even if they don't always put it into words. Another important factor is emotional energy. Men notice if a woman is hopeful, optimistic, and resilient, or if she is constantly pessimistic and negative. Life is already filled with challenges, so a woman who brings positivity, encouragement, and lightheartedness becomes a source of comfort. This doesn't mean she has to be cheerful all the time, but her overall energy, her ability to balance strength with grace, leaves a lasting impression. Interestingly, energy often lingers longer in memory than anything else. Long after men forget the details of what a woman wore or the exact words she spoke, they remember how she made them feel. Did she inspire confidence? Did she bring calmness? Did she spark laughter and joy? These emotional imprints become the defining memories men carry. It's also worth noting that energy is contagious. Men are naturally drawn to women whose energy makes life feel brighter, easier, and more meaningful. A woman who carries herself with positivity and presence doesn't just impact one person, she uplifts everyone around her. That kind of presence is unforgettable because it transforms ordinary encounters into meaningful experiences. At the end of the day, energy and presence cannot be faked. They come from within, shaped by self-respect, kindness, and authenticity. Men notice when a woman's outer presence aligns with her inner character. and it makes her unforgettable in ways that beauty alone never could. So while many women worry about appearance, men are quietly noticing something deeper. They notice the energy she carries into a room, the calm or joy she brings, and the presence that makes her stand out without even trying. Looks may catch attention, but it is energy and presence that leave the lasting impact.